So let's just continue where I left off in some of my other talks. This is less of a design video, and this I'm going to talk a little bit more about where things are at with my various projects and with the company. And the big news is, well, we have several pieces of big news. The first of the big news that we have the art from Cold Plague, the scenario I've been talking about developing. This is by Alyssa Wheeler. This is going to be the cover with the title and the Call of Cthulhu logo. She has some beautiful paintings and illustrations, and so this will be a bit spoilery. So I know a couple people have asked me about playing this scenario. So I'm hoping that I'll be meeting with graphic designer Sage in about an hour and a half, and then she's going to be getting in on this. If last time I told you she was starting to work on layout, there have been some twists and turns, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Good twists and turns, but twists and turns nonetheless. So here's some of the art from Cold Plague, the wreck of the Castagnata, a visitor to the farmhouse late at night, the ancient idol in the hands of an otherworldly possessor, and the vision of Namtar. So I mean, there's, like I said, there. So Alyssa Wheeler, she goes by Alyssa Robin. AlyssaRobin.com if you want to check out any of Alyssa's art. I really recommend this artist to you. She came by the way of the amazing Jeff Arsenault, who has done work for Tales of the Howard Land and Trash Sexy, and who will be continuing to do more work. But I just felt stylistically she really captured what I wanted to do with Cold Plague and the art for that. So as I've mentioned, Cold Plague is going to be released in two forms. And the first of which is going to be through Miskatonic Repository as an official Call of Cthulhu scenario. The second is going to be a variation of the story that is generic for horror role-playing. And Fox and Boar Games will be launching a little line of horror role-playing supplements. And Cold Plague will be the first of which, but it'll also come about in a different form, possibly a different title. Like I said, I've talked to Chaos Team about this. They're very cool with, like, hey, it's your work. License it through us for Call of Cthulhu. Do what you want with it outside of that. And that was really refreshing to hear. So I'm still deciding on but I will be launching a kind of a subline of Fox and Boar Games. It's all going to be through Fox and Boar Games, but like it's going to be branded as lines specifically for horror and supplements for other horror games. So I haven't decided on a name yet. I'm brainstorming. But yeah, so check out AlyssaRobin.com. It's right down here. I have some historic. There's the Packard truck that this scenario starts out in, and here's some of historic Cape Cod, historic Provincetown. So this is all Creative Commons art. This will be interspersed with the art for Cold Plague. On to the next big thing, the Journeys deck. The Journeys deck has been a journey. These are the Kickstarter exclusives. Some of this art is original for this deck. Some of it is stuff that Lisanne Lake has had that she has used before, but a license has reverted to her, so she has licensed it to us for use with this deck. So these are your Kickstarter exclusive cards. There are still decks available over at the Kickstarter as an add-on. They came with the pledges. Any pledge that was made during the Kickstarter period will be getting a deck of these cards. And if not, there was the option of an add-on through late pledging, which is still available. But there will be a very limited number of these left from the Kickstarter that will be sold at in-person events only. Here is the finished Journeys deck. This is the Underground deck. It was Sage had to come in the last month, 2 weeks. She basically had 2 weeks to do all the format. To get this together, I have to really wait and see how they sell, to see if we're going to have more Journeys decks. So we'll see. Hopefully they're going to fly out of the booth at Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo, where Lisanne will also be there to sign work and sell some originals and sell some prints. So hopefully this will be the big seller, and it'll be great, and I'll be able to sell more at TotalCon at the end of February, where I will also be vending. And we will hopefully then say, this is great, people love this. Let's create more Journeys decks. Our favorite Sako Toomey, who created art for the 100 Ways book, and who has created artwork for the Book of Shadows for Shadow Dark, has taken on my next book, which should be released by TotalCon, because TotalCon's theme this year is cryptid. So as part of that horror line that I discussed before, I am writing up a Cryptid Investigator's Handbook for RPGs, for modern RPGs, horror RPGs. Yes, there will be a version for Call of Cthulhu, specifically modern or Delta Green. I don't know if I'll go Delta Green. It's going to be a generic book to start, but I might have an accessory pack that you can download from Miskatonic University, Miskatonic Repository. Sorry, to have stats, if you want stats for these creatures and ideas for these creatures specifically for Call of Cthulhu. But what it is going to be is a merger of cryptid mythology and urban legend mythology, about 8 different monsters I think I finally decided on, and then some ideas of using them in a modern horror game with a mythos Lovecraft bent. That's kind of where my brain is going now. I couldn't resist ordering them because I grew up reading this book, the Jersey Devil book, and it was formative in my interests and all this weirdness. So, Jersey Devil will appear in the sequel, in the part 2 to this book, because I had so many cryptids I wanted to address, and turn into this RPG pseudo mythos and rendition. I simply couldn't get them all in one book and get this done. So I'm going to do 8 now, and it will be PDF and print, and each one's going to have the art for the cryptid, the description of the cryptid in terms of its source in real world folklore mythology, and then how it fits into the mythos and how it fits into an RPG, and a scenario, a short summary scenario, like a scenario prompt to include these into your games. So that's really fun. I'm really looking forward to this one. Let's have a great holiday, everybody. I can't thank you enough, and I look forward to bringing you more in 2025.